You tell me one show that's actually changed people's lives the way The Biggest Loser has? I'd love to hear it.
Obesity is a biological disease. This isn't an issue of willpower or anything
Fit
else.
for TV, the reality of The Biggest Loser is shedding new light on the dark side of the show.
I lost 239 pounds in 6 months, 3 weeks, and 5 days. I won The Biggest Loser. I was the world champion of weight loss. I knew everything. Apparently not, because here I am.
The most powerful signal for weight regain after losing with lifestyle only, without surgery or medicines, is appetite. So appetite increases greatly. This has been done mathematically, actually, by the guy who did those studies looking at the metabolic adaptations, where they calculate the amount of appetite or hunger increases when you lose a certain amount of weight. So no matter what, most of these people would have regained their weight. That's what we see with lifestyle studies by themselves with no assistance via biological drugs or surgery. What does happen, though, over time is that your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, just um, kind of like fidgeting and moving around, can spontaneously decrease. So you have to really focus on making purposeful movement. It doesn't have to be necessarily exercise. So to keep your calorie burning rate up, you have to keep trying to move and move and move when your body doesn't want you to do that. What they're discussing is a metabolic adaptation is with your basal metabolic rate or resting metabolic rate. Your metabolic rate if you just did nothing, if you're just kind of being alive, nothing else. And when you lose a substantial amount of weight, it always goes down, because our metabolic rate, our basal metabolic rate and resting metabolic rate, is based off of our body size and body composition. So when you lose weight, even if it's just fat tissue that's metabolically active, you'll burn fewer calories. Even if you kept all of your muscle, you'll be burning fewer calories no matter what. What the metabolic adaptation happens, though, is that the metabolic rate goes down further than what we would expect based on your body composition and size. And for them, they had a larger decrease than what was expected, but even still, they made up for it with a lot of activity, but they regained their weight likely from mostly appetite increases. They've done this before with all sorts of randomized trials doing lifestyle only, and some are successful. A very small percentage, maybe 10 or so percent, can keep a substantial amount of weight off. The rest of them, they just have a troubles fighting against their biological drive to eat more and essentially move not as much. It's really hard. So you can try with lifestyle interventions and follow-up care, but the true follow-up care would have been like, okay, despite, even if they were coaching them and doing all the little things to try to get them to keep eating in a certain way and moving in a certain way, the true follow-up care should have been a multidisciplinary team going, okay, we need to start adding medicine, such as like a GLP-1 medicine, or potentially for someone, it might be surgery if they qualified or something like that, something to basically block that biological drive from regaining the weight, most of which is appetite related. So that's how the true aftercare should have been.
Fit for TV, the reality of The Biggest Loser, goes behind the scenes. Celebrity trainer Jillian Michaels was name-checked several times in the docuseries. Take your sorry ass out of my gym!
I mean, you see her from the show. She's ultimately like, it's all about willpower. It's all about lifestyle. We don't need drugs. And it's just completely ignoring that biological aspect. And, you can just look at what happened to the people that went on her show. Now it doesn't even matter. That's such a small anecdote. We can look at the big, huge trials that have been done using lifestyle alone. And ultimately, she just doesn't understand the pathophysiology of obesity. It hasn't worked before, won't work in the future with her way of doing things. And ultimately, it's just her strong bias in that regard, and she wasn't willing to accept that. She's going to have to come around. I mean, the data are the data. It's like, well, either you believe gold standard randomized trials or not. And at the time she didn't, so maybe she'll come around. I don't know. I'm not planning on it though. No matter what therapy you do to lose the weight, you have to continue it to keep the weight off. A GLP-1 medicine is simply pushing back at that biological drive for appetite. So when you remove it, that biological drive to eat comes back, and then you regain the weight. It's like any other chronic disease medicine that we would take: blood pressure, statins, anything chronic disease related. And so, of course, people regain weight back. Now, not everybody does, just like not everybody regains their weight after lifestyle. So around 10 or 15% of people can lose a lot of weight with lifestyle alone and keep the weight off. We see it. Same with these medicines. About 10 to 15% of people can hold off most of their weight after coming off of it. Now, we don't have long term. We don't know what happens a year or so later. Maybe those people over 5 years will regain the weight. But we do know that, like, removing the therapy of whatever you're doing for weight and loss and weight maintenance results in most people regaining the weight. So it's just the same thing. I think the gist is that this shows that obesity is a biological disease. This isn't an issue of willpower or anything else, and we need biological tools to help fight it. This doesn't mean our environment isn't important. Clearly, our environment has pushed us in this direction, but it's our underlying biology combined with the environment that's an issue, and we should try to treat both the biology and the environment.